Next on Worcester News tonight, a car crash in Worcester is caught on camera. We'll tell you which liquor store has some major cleaning up to do. Plus, Congressman Jim McGovern leads a bus tour aimed at helping local businesses bring in more customers during the fall tourism season. Well, good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kayla Mamalak. Those stories in a moment. But first, a major step today towards fewer delays at Worcester Airport. Massport officials and the Worcester community met this morning at Worcester Regional Airport for the groundbreaking of the new Category 3 landing system. Right now, planes can only land with visibility of about 1/3 of a mile. The new system will allow for visibility landings as low as 600 feet of horizontal visibility.
I think that the success in the first 2 years with JetBlue of 250,000 passengers and the Cat 3 is going to open the door to some of the business destinations that the business community has asked us to take a look at.
The overall project is about $30 million and is expected to be complete by fall 2017. Well, the Worcester School Committee moved to appoint an interim successor to Superintendent Dr. Melinda Boone last night. Boone resigned last week to take a job in Norfolk, Virginia. The debate to appoint an interim superintendent focused on two candidates, veteran South High School Principal Maureen Beninda and Chief Academic Officer Dr. Marco Rodriguez. The school committee voted 4-3 to name Rodriguez to the post. In an interview today, Beninda told us she is not disappointed and will be focusing on her current position as principal.
I come here every day and I'm very happy and thankful that I'm here. So I was willing to help if they needed my help in the interim. They didn't need my help in the interim, and so, you know, my job is I'm principal of South High, and I'll be here every day working hard.
The interim position is expected to last anywhere from 5 to 7 months. Beninda says she is considering applying for the official superintendent position, but not quite sure. Turning now to some tragic news, a 21-year-old Westboro man died Friday morning while riding his motorcycle. Kyle Ashworth hit a tractor trailer on Paul X. Tivnan Drive in Boylston. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police identified the tractor driver as 55-year-old Worcester man. A car accident that has left a Worcester man's liquor store in shambles, and surveillance cameras caught it all. Surveillance video captures the moment a car crashes into Kirsch Liquors on Main Street. Police say an accident led to this Toyota driving through the front door of the store Bob Kirsch has owned for 45 years.
I walked into an ungodly mess with glass everywhere in the store. The ATM machine got hit off its base, went about 15 feet. My counters were moved, my safe was moved.
The car ended up in the middle of the store around 1 a.m. Friday morning. A little more than an hour later, Kirsch and former employee Michael Stoliker got to work cleaning up.
He says, I just had a car go through my front window. I'm like, I'll be there in 5 minutes.
Stoliker says the store was in disarray, but they were determined to have everything ready for a 9 a.m. open.
We open at 9 o'clock and come hell or high water.
Kirsch says the drivers of both vehicles are cooperating in the investigation and says police don't think alcohol was a factor. Police say no one was badly hurt.
If we were open, it could have been catastrophic. Somebody could have got killed. So I guess, you know, if it had to happen, at least it happened at the right time when we were closed.
And police also say when the storefront came down, looters on Main Street came in and stole contents in the store. That investigation is still ongoing. The District 7 dive team responded to Buffinville Lake in Charlton this morning for a truck that went into the water. The Ford F-150 you see here in these pictures was recovered from the lake. Auburn Fire Department says there was no one in the truck at the time it went into the water. There were no injuries and no arrests were made. Auburn Fire says it was just a freak accident. Investigators are trying to figure out what caused a huge fire at some campgrounds in Groton. The flames ripped through a building at the Grotonwood Christian Camp last night. No one was hurt, but the building is a total loss. The camp director tells us the building used to be a barn that was converted to dormitory space. And in an effort to help bring more tourists to the central Massachusetts area, Congressman Jim McGovern led a bus tour today around the region. McGovern says people tend not to think about the area as a travel destination, and he's hoping to change that. Olivia Lemon has more.
We have something like 18 million people that visit Massachusetts every year. And they tend to kind of tend to focus on Boston, beaches, and the Berkshires.
Congressman Jim McGovern says tourism brings more than $13 billion into the Massachusetts economy each year. Friday, he led a bus tour to highlight tourist spots in central Massachusetts like farms and restaurants.
We want this to be more of a destination spot, and it will help our economy even more. So, you know, we're on this tour to brag about what we have to offer.
The city obviously represents a much urban, edgier feel or vibe. When you start to segue out into the regions, some of the assets that they have are more of the orchards, the farms.
The tour's first stop was at Davidian Brothers Farm in Northborough.
It's extremely important that we have the local people shop our stores, you know, for the support and to keep us in business.
Co-owner Ed Davidian says October is the busiest month at the farm. He says their apples, pumpkins, and cider help bring in tourists.
We have to have the business here to support the farm and our farming activities.
One of the great things to do if you have young children is to take them to an orchard and give them that experience of picking fruit.
The area's Chamber of Commerce say getting tourists to spend their money at local farms and businesses is important for the economy.
For every dollar that's spent on destination marketing, $7 comes back into the region and into the community in terms of people spending money locally.
There's so much here that is really quite incredible. You know, I always tell people that, you know, central Massachusetts represents some of the most beautiful parts of Massachusetts and some of the most beautiful parts of the country.
Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
Thanks, Olivia. Now turning to the presidential race, Donald Trump will be attending a rally tonight in Tyngsboro. It'll be at the Tyngsboro Elementary School. The last time he visited the Bay State was in August when he was a guest for car dealership owner Ernie Bach Jr. In the latest NBC News poll released today, Trump has 28% of the Republican vote, down 1% from last month. Ben Carson with 23% is the only other candidate with double-digit support. Worcester's history will be subject to a new C-SPAN feature. The cable channel's producing crew will be in the city next week to film. Wednesday at noon, they'll hold an event at the city's historical museum to talk about what subjects they're exploring. The stories will be on air on C-SPAN 2 and 3 in December. A local bike store that was set to close this year isn't going anywhere, and neither are its employees. Andy Madison explains.
For 3 decades, Bicycle Alley has been a staple in the cycling community. For the last 3 months, its future has been up in the air.
It was a roller coaster ride. There was a couple of weeks that we didn't know if anything was going to happen to this shop.
When we last spoke to the staff in August, they were preparing to close. That is until the original owner crossed paths with John Antretter.
Jim said, "Hey John, there's a special opportunity up in Worcester. Would you be interested, and could you move fast?"
And move fast they did.
We're working on 2 other stores, one in California, Mountain View, another one in Orlando. But we've always had a goal of being, you know, in a great place like, you know, Massachusetts.
Starting next month, they will. Bicycle Alley will become Bikes and Life in November. The move became official last week.
It was great. Everyone's excited about the change. Customers are elated.
Only the name and the store owner will change. It's great news for the staff, some of whom have been with the store since the beginning.
I've been with Bicycle Alley for about 28 to 30 years.
And there'll be a 31 and a 32?
There'll be 31, 32, and then someday I'm going to say, John, you know what, I'm going to have to retire.
Andy Madison,